Hello, everyone. Today, I just want to briefly talk with you about ways to deal with stress effectively. We all have stress in our lives at some point or another, and it's going to be very helpful to understand and to have some tools in our arsenal to be able to deal effectively with stress. So, that's what I want to talk to you about today. So, I just want to go over some strategies that we can use to help us to manage our stress level. The first strategy is to have self compassion. Have compassion for yourself. You don't have to be perfect. No one is perfect. So don't be so hard on yourself. Celebrate, the progress that you've made. Don't always concentrate so much on the fact that, maybe you failed or you didn't complete something as well as you'd hoped you would. You don't have to be perfect. We learn from our mistakes. It's okay to fail. It's okay to make mistakes. That's what's going to help us be better. So have some compassion for yourself. The second thing is to remember the big picture. So it will really help us in reducing our stress to really be able to link our actions to a greater meaning or purpose. So everything that we're doing is for some greater meaning or purpose, whether it's working really hard to get a particular job that you've always wanted, working really hard to graduate from high school or from college. All of these things, that and all the work that we're putting in is for a greater meaning or purpose. So never lose sight of what your ultimate goal is and why you're working so hard. And that'll help you to reduce some of your stress. The next big thing is to rely on routines. The fact of the matter is, a lot of our stress is caused by the hundreds and hundreds of decisions that we have to make on a daily basis. It's just stressful to have to make all these decisions all of the time. So, as much as we can rely on routines, that's going to help to relieve some of that stress. For instance, I have often in the past stressed a lot about what I was going to wear to work or wear to school on any particular morning. So I get up in the morning and I'm freaking out because I don't know what I want to wear and I can't find a particular shirt that I'm looking for. And then it just becomes this big thing. So, in order to help me to relieve that stress, what I started doing was picking out my clothes at night. So, the night before, I would pick out whatever outfit I was going to wear, down to the shoes, jewelry, everything, so that the next morning I wouldn't have to worry about all those things. It would already, that decision would already be made for me. Same thing with like packing a lunch the night before, and sometimes even planning breakfast the night before. So, as much as you can, rely on some routines. It just helps to alleviate that stress that will have later on. The next strategy is to take 5 to 10 minutes out of your day every day to do something that you find interesting. What I found for myself is when I'm working on something really hard and I get really stressed about it, it just really helps me to take a 5 to 10 minute break and just do something that I find interesting, whether that be surfing the internet, going on my Facebook or Instagram page, quick phone call to a friend, reading a book. Just doing something that you find interesting helps to replenish your energy. It kind of just gives you this boost that you need to continue to get through the day. And then it gives you that downtime to stop thinking about whatever it is that you're stressing about. The next strategy is to create a to-do list. So I have found these to be very helpful. Every day, I will create a to-do list with like my top five tasks that I want to get completed for that day. But not only in this case are we going to create a to-do list, we're going to take it one step further and to actually add when we're going to do this particular task and where to this list. And studies have shown that just simply deciding in advance when and where we're going to complete a task can actually double or triple our chances of actually getting it complete. Because sometimes we'll write these to-do lists and, they look really great, but then you get to the end of the day and you realize you've only like completed one thing on that list. So taking it a step further and actually deciding when and where you're going to complete particular tasks actually kind of helps to give you the motivation to actually complete the task. The next strategy is positive self-talk. Just simply speaking positive things into your life. Just simply getting up in the morning and looking in the mirror and saying, you know what? You're smart. You're awesome. You can do this. You've got this. Just saying those things, as crazy as it might seem, just looking in the mirror and saying those things to yourself, it becomes an affirmation, and you start to actually believe it, and you start to actually feel it. And as a result, you feel better about yourself, and you feel less stressed out. So just speaking positive things into your life can be a big help. The next strategy is to make sure that you're looking at the work that you're putting forth towards your goals, that you're looking at that in terms of progress and not perfection. Stop concentrating on all the negative things. Stop concentrating on the fact that, you thought you'd be finished with school by now and you're not done. That's not the point. The point is that you're still working for it. The point is that you're further today than you were 6 months ago or even a year ago. So look at the progress that you've made and make sure that you celebrate those small wins. Every time you complete a course or every time you complete a semester, that's a good thing. That's something to celebrate. That means you're that much closer towards reaching your ultimate goal, which is graduation. So don't be so hard on yourself and getting caught up in the fact that, you haven't reached your ultimate goal yet. You're still working towards it. You're still making really, really good progress. So just really concentrate on that progress and let that be your motivation to continue going. Okay. Another big source of our stress sometimes can be that we don't manage our time effectively. So, lastly, I just want to kind of go over some strategies to help us with our time management, which ultimately will help us with reducing stress in our lives. The one big thing that I have such an issue with, and I have been working on for a very long time, is learning how to say no. I have a huge habit of overloading myself because it's so hard for me to say no to people. When people ask me for a favor, when people ask me for help, when people need me to do things, even if I already know I'm super busy and I don't really have the time for it, more than likely I'm still going to say yes to it. Then I find myself stressed out because I've committed to too many things and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to fit it all in. So bottom line is we have to learn how to say no. And saying no is not a bad thing. If we really don't have the time for it and it's going to really stress us out, it's better to just be honest with that person and say, I really would love to help you out, but unfortunately my plate's full right now. I'm not going to be able to help you this time, but maybe next time. Next thing is I talked about this before, but making a to-do list and making it time-based. So maybe next to each task, we're going to say specifically what time we want to have that task finished by, or how much time we're going to spend working on that task. And that's just going to motivate us further to get it finished. Third strategy is let your computer help. Honestly, there's so many great tools that we can use on the computer that can help us with our time management, using, online calendars and things that can just really help us to stay focused and on task. So we want to make sure that we're taking advantage of these things, that we're using these tools so they can help make our life easier. Next strategy is to multitask. Obviously, when and wherever possible, if we can combine things and kill two birds with one stone, let's do that. Let's do that and make our life easier. Once again, next strategy, don't try to be a perfectionist. It's okay to make mistakes. We should make mistakes. Mistakes are how we learn and grow. So, it's not realistic to think that we're going to do everything perfectly the first time around. It's just not realistic. So don't try to be a perfectionist. Just simply do the best that you can and learn from your mistakes. And lastly, the strategy that I think is the absolute best is to reward yourself. Reward yourself for the small wins. Don't get so caught up in the end goal and the fact that you haven't achieved the end goal that you miss these small wins that you have. For instance, I've been working for the last 6 weeks to lose some weight, and I have not yet reached my goal weight, but every week that I complete the number of workouts that I said I would do, I feel so good about myself. And I celebrate small wins by saying, hey, you're awesome. You completed this workout. And I really love ice cream. Let's go get an ice cream cone. Just one, though. Just one on one day. We're not going to go crazy with it and start eating ice cream every day. But just celebrating that small win really makes me feel good about myself and really helps me to stay motivated towards my goal. So that's what I have for today. Hopefully, you can take some of these strategies and try them out, see if they work for you. Let me know how it goes. And hopefully, trying some of these things will actually help you to reduce some stress in your lives. Okay? Well, thank you so very much for your time and have a good one.